It's me, Capri. My mommy is the best. Super mom, Rumpy, best. She helps mommy get those smiles back. To get those back. And those back go back. You wait for the show. Brush. Get ready for that super slippery, that super slap.
Welcome to Healing for the Soul podcast, sponsored by Robin Stoltman, with this being season number 6, episode number 22. And so before we get started, I'm your host, Robin Stoltman, and each and every week I feature different guests to help you become the best version of yourself through different methods you may not have heard of or even thought of. So make sure to subscribe, like, and share this podcast with everyone you know, and keep coming back for more. And today, I have my guest, Robert Walton, on the show. And we're going to be talking about hypnosis and everything in between. So let's get started. Thank you so much, Robert, for being here with our audience today.
Hey, Robin, thanks for having me. This is my first podcast, so I'm really going to enjoy this. Like I told you, I got a little spiel to go into, then I figured we just go into a great discussion. Hey, everybody, I'm Robert Walton, a certified hypnotherapist and owner of WaltonHypnotherapy, IneedHypno.com, and HappyLife.services. I'm sorry. At Walton Hypnotherapy, I work directly with clients to help them overcome challenges like anxiety, fears, pain, phobia. I'm a general practitioner. I can help you with almost anything, well, most anything you bring to me. I also run IneedHypno.com, a hub for professional transformation where you can explore professionally recorded hypnosis audios, book private sessions with hypnotherapists. And if you are a hypnotherapist, hit me up. We're always hiring. And then there's HappyLife.services, my crowdfunded platform designed to help small businesses and solo providers get seen more. For just $20 a month, you can list all your products, all your services, and every subscription fee goes directly into a shared pool for ad funding. I make no money from that. I make no money from anything listed on the platform. It's all about getting the word out for everybody. That's about my big spiel. Thanks for letting me do that.
Well, no, I appreciate it. That's good to know because I mean, like, the world could use a lot more hypnosis and a lot less of the other stuff. I'm just saying. That's my thoughts on it because
I agree.
I did 16 years of that traditional stuff, and I'm like, he'd have to pay me, and even that it would be worth it. I mean, if you think about like how fast a person goes from, like even our clients, just in general, because we're not naming any names, we're not doing any of that. But like when you think about like the clients in general, when they come in, to the time they come in, to the time that they're better, it's like a completely different person almost.
I completely agree. And I think that's the essence of true healing is either actively changing the consciousness or tricking the consciousness into changing itself to having a deeper expression of the self. It's like, it's the same mentality to me as why do adopted kids get the same medical problems as the blood parents, even though they're adopted? For me, it's because the perception is the same. So it's different perception, different responses in the body, similar responses as far as diseases. That's how I see that.
That would make sense on that part too, because I mean, that's where a lot of people believe that the generational problems, they run into each other, yes. But at the same time, we've still got the mindset part of it that everybody seems to leave out. And by everybody, I mean like the traditional sick care model. The traditional models, they tend to leave that out.
Oh, I've noticed that too. What's the best way of putting it? It's, to me, I've seen a lot of the, I won't say Western, but I'll say modern medicine is, we'll leave the glass in there. We'll just numb the pain and put a Band-Aid over it.
Yep.
Still cutting you, you don't notice it.
Yeah. Very, very much. And that's what bothers me about it is that it's like people don't understand how powerful their mind is. Because I don't know if you took the pain management class at Hypnosis Motivation Institute, but to me, I thought it was very fascinating when they did that study on 6 people who had knee surgery. 3 of them did not. 3 of them actually, well, it's not that they didn't have it. 3 of them had the surgery where they were like cut open, but they never actually had the knee replaced. And then the other 3 actually had the knee replaced. But I thought that was fascinating about, do you remember that study that they were talking about for that pain management?
It's funny bringing it up. It's funny bringing it because I was looking through case histories and reports, and that one came up. And the way I wrote it was 3 separate categories. They had the same knee problem, but they had one doctor fixing it one way, one doctor fixing it another way, and the one doctor just making the incision and sewing it up. So the first two actually did something differently, both of them. And then the last one was just, like you said, just cut and then sewed it back up. And they all recovered the same rate.
Yeah. And then I remember like the one that they didn't even have the actual surgery done, but it's like because their belief in the doctor was so strong that it worked for them. And they didn't need the actual knee replacement.
No, 100% agree. And tinfoil hat time, this is what I think the great mystics and the teachers were doing in the ancient times. And I won't say any names because, I don't want to get you religious, but somebody did say the power is within you.
True.
I am the witness, something like that. So I think that's what certain teachers were doing. The greatest teachers were tricking you or getting to show you that you are healing yourself. You just have to change what you think about yourself. And that can be on the surface, or that could be, you gotta go deeper into where you're trapped in the body, why is it there, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you know all that kind of stuff. But that's what I think the greatest healers are doing, is showing you how you're not healing yourself or how you're keeping yourself sick. And then bam, you're empowered. Because that's what I'm all about, empowerment. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I like what you said about how we're keeping ourselves sick. Because I'm like, if you really think about it, we really are truly keeping ourselves sick in the habits, in the lifestyle, and the behaviors that we've got by not changing them. And like you look at society as a whole, it's like a lot of people, they don't have that empowerment, like what you mentioned. And that's one of the things that irritates me too, because I'm like, people are trained from birth, because that's who helps us when we deliver. I'm not saying that we don't need OBs, because we definitely do. But I'm just saying, like, we're trained right at birth, literally. The doctors know what they're doing. We know nothing. And it's like women have been having babies for how many thousands and thousands of years. But yet, I'm not saying that I don't need an OB, because I do, because I have to have C-sections. My body don't let them out. But outside of that, most women, they don't need the C-section. They don't need these extra things, but society pushes that you can't do it yourself. They push that you need the medication. They don't push how to do it on your own for things. That's the strongest example that I can give. Like,
I can understand
how it's been. No, right. No, you're fine.
I can understand that. That's probably a field I don't know too much about, because me and my wife have no kids. I've never had to deal with stuff like that. But I can see where, and I agree with you 100%. We've been doing it long before science, giving birth, taking care of babies. Yep. But I do think science allows more people to have a baby, to give birth. I think that's the beautiful thing about it. But no, I completely agree. I don't think we need everything that we've been given like that, or at least advertised that we need. And maybe it's even to a point where it's so high tech that it makes it even harder. Because I've heard that it's easier to squat down and give birth as to lay down. Like there's certain things that maybe, and this is how humans are, right? At least in this point in history, so much attempt to make it easier and comfortable, but then you make yourself sick and injured and make everything harder because you made yourself weaker.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, it's a twofold. That's why I'm like, that was the strongest thing that I could possibly think of. Like the issues like what like you see within the medical system. Because it's like even myself, I'm going in for my 8th C-section coming up in September here.
Oh.
And for me, I'm like, I'm going to start using hypnosis now, because I learned with the last one when I thought, oh, well, my brain should be conditioned enough, from the prior other 3 having hypnosis for C-section. And I'm like, yeah, with this last one in 2024, I'm like, yeah, there's no way on God's green earth you'd have to. No. I've never been put to sleep during a C-section, never had those problems. And then like this time, I'm like, I'm preparing ahead of time. So I definitely see like why a person would need to condition the brain a lot for surgery versus something else. Like anxiety, like anxiety is easy. Like that's the easiest one. I like 5 sessions and I know you're done, So what's been your experience with this then?
With hypnosis?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll give you a little background on me just so we can kind of understand where we're going.
Yeah.
I was a deputy sheriff for 8 years, got out of that in working in maintenance for a senior center for years. Love it. I still do it. And I'm the maintenance manager, so I'm the only guy on staff. So I'm the one that kills things, picks things up. I'm that dude. I'm the guy, and they have no problem letting me know that. So I do that, and then I got to hypnosis about 3-4 years ago. I got all my diplomas and my squares like you do.
Yep.
From HMI old school, and it all started because I was talking to my sister, who used to have horrible crippling anxiety, couldn't even leave the house. And at the time, I was getting more spiritual, getting into meditation. You know, I turned 27 to 30. I was finding my mind as a male, just put it that way. And I was looking at Dr. Jordan Peterson and Dr. Joe wasn't it, Dispenza, like all these different doctors. And I'm like, wow, I wouldn't mind being something like that, but I do not want to go to 8 to 10 years of school on something I might not like. So my sister talked about trying hypnotherapy, and my ears perked up like it was a fox. Like I didn't know, I never heard the word before, but something drew me to it. We talked about it. I found the school and went full force into it. Went to it for a year, got my diploma, and doing it for 2 or 3 years now. So I really enjoy it because I love finding out about the mind. I love having insight on the consciousness, the subconsciousness, how to change myself if I need to, how to help other people change if they need to. And of course, you know, you might have all the tools to change to become your best self, but you don't want to become your best self yet. That's hard. Yeah. I can stop eating chocolate tomorrow if I want to, but I still like chocolate. So I'm not going to hypnotize myself for that yet. But I'm still human. I'm going to very much be human, so I'm not human anymore, you know?
I definitely get you there. There's a couple things I'm like, yeah, like one for me is the infertility. Yes, I had it. I went through it. It's painful. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But at the same time, like, I know that I haven't done the work on it. So now that I'm going to be talking more about the infertility and what I've gone through, I've noticed some of the stuff that I was unaware of that was still linked to the infertility is coming up, like memories and the feelings and all this stuff. And I was like, maybe I should work on this. But at the same time, I'm more scared to lose the feelings of what it felt like for my ideal client that I'm talking to. Like, if that makes any sense at all, like what I'm saying, because I don't want to lose that aspect of it, of who I am, because it's still a big part of me. I'm like, yeah, I've got 11 kids, 10 pregnancies, 8, soon to be 8 total outside living, but it's like at the same time, I still have that same fear. And it's like, it's tricky. It's like one of those steps. It's, it's in between. That's why I said, like, the hypnosis thing I said about chocolate. I don't know if I want to stop that right now, but this is one of those things that I've, like, seriously been back and forth, because you're right. We are human.
Right. 100%. And this is my personal belief, but just from my studies, I looked into all kinds of hypnosis, and I love psychology. I love physiology. I love all kinds of stuff. I personally believe that if everybody just shifted their perception a little bit in one belief, that 90% of the illnesses and problems will go away from the planet. And top level mystics have said the same thing. And I think that if everybody recognized, this is my belief, the oneness we are, and I talk about it as like a snow globe. You can look at a snow globe and have different things popped up, like a chair, different, but it's all connected and made of one thing. So that I teach people about what we're all connected and we're all one big thing. So when I first tapped into that mindset and really switched, I could see how it could eliminate all racism, all prejudices, everything. Because I can't even hate a murderer, because 1, you're a part of me, and 2, who knows what I did 2 lives ago? We just become tame as a human society. We're probably 1850s, people getting gunned down the street at high noon. We're not that far removed from that kind of mentality.
No.
And I was actually listening to a book called Conversation with God. And he said that. He's like, you're not that bad. You should have seen yourself 2 lifetimes ago. You haven't killed anybody this time.
True.
So me, if I could have one wish, it would be that more people learn that we're all one big thing, having multiple experiences. And if you see yourself, like, I won't say who it said, love your neighbor like yourself, it's hard to hate them. It really is. So If I could do one big mass hypnosis shift to everybody, that's the perception I would change. Then let you have whatever belief you want. I don't care. But I wish people knew the truth, in my opinion, more.
Well, yeah, same here. I think that's why it's important that we're doing what we're doing. That's why I even brought the podcast back, because I've had the podcast since 2019, and a lot of it I started out doing myself. But then that's why I brought it back, because I stopped it in 2024. I think it was like January, February. And then I just went on this long break from it, and I just brought it back mid-May of this 2025, because I'm looking around constantly in society, and it's constantly negative news. Or you get this other stuff going on Facebook, TikTok. It doesn't matter what social media platform on, or you're even on the news. It's like so much is negative. People need to be aware of the truth out there that exists. And that's like, for me, yes, I'm a little bit much on the traditional sick care model. But what I've learned from my podcast guests about how much is being hidden from us. And then you talk to other people, and it's like, okay, maybe you can take everything with a grain of salt. But even at that, when you do your own research outside of what people have said, you really start researching, you really start finding out how much has been covered up. You know, just in general as a whole.
Oh, I've heard stories of them finding Krishna's lost city gold, just not digging it up yet, because one, it's made of gold. How do you hide all of that? And two, there's things in the Bhagavad Gita called Vinasanas, flying machines. Like, they talk about war, and they found glass in these sites only happened during nuclear war. Like, there's so much we don't know, and I think that certain TV shows are kind of taking advantage of that. Like, I look at Game of Thrones, and I'm like, what is beyond the ice wall? Is that Antarctica? What is beyond the wall? The free folk? Are we the Seven Kingdoms, whatever? Or are we the Fire Nation from Avatar, just being pricks? I don't know. But I do think that most of those shows are taken from some kind of truth. Because I do think that, what's the best way of putting it? I think that when you hear like ancient names or old stories, like Akasha from, the Akasha records, right?
Yeah,
was
I've
also
heard of them.
Yes. It's also the name of the Queen Vampire and Queen of the Damned. Remember Queen of the Damned?
I didn't watch that movie.
No?
I don't watch
Okay.
a lot of movies.
I got you. Good movie. Very cool vampire flick. But her name is Akasha. So I think they use ancient names to trigger something in us to watch it more. You're like, oh, why does that seem familiar? I'm going to watch this more. It seems cool. Something pulls me to it. Maybe because past life or ancestor, whatever, you were dealing with something called Akasha.
True.
So, I'm a very tinfoil hat kind of a guy. I really am. But I don't go overboard. I still know that this is a table,
No, true. And there's nothing wrong with that part of it, but it's like at the same time makes a person wonder, because it's like, even when I've listened to some of the people that are gurus now, or not even, they don't consider themselves gurus necessarily, but like one person that I absolutely love is Myron Golden. He's actually what started me on this path. I'd gotten his book From the Trash Man to the Cash Man, and I read it at my lowest point of life. And when I read that book, it really got my mind switching and thinking of different things. And then since then, I've noticed everything that Myron said in that book is 100% true for like the two different types of people there are. And in this is what I'm getting at, is I've still been following, still been listening to him to this day. And like he's said, like, if you look at business in general, in the media, and like what you're watching on TV, he's like, think about it. Before 1960, you'd be extremely hard pressed to find anybody who's talking negative about entrepreneurship. They don't teach entrepreneurship in school. Why would they? Because Rockefeller started the school system, and he wanted the schools so that people would be during the industrial age, so people would not think.
It was built on a Prussian model.
Yes. And then you get, I just had heard something the other day that somebody had said, again, years before my time, and your time, I'm sure as well, had said about during these time frames that the ignorance of today won't be like, not the ability to read or write, but it's the ability to think for yourself. And I cannot remember who said it, but I was like, I would definitely agree with that. But it's kind of funny because it's like all these things line up, because even when Myron was talking about this for business, the entrepreneurship and things, because both of us are entrepreneurs, and it's like, they don't teach this in school. They don't want you to know. They want everybody to be yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and a couple other phrases that I normally say. But I mean, like, that's they want a person to do. But it's like Spider-Man. They have the good and the evil. Well, who's typically the evil one? The business owner.
Mm-hmm.
And then people in general don't understand. They're being hypnotized into believing that if you own your own business, well, then you're evil because you've got all this money. Well, then, of course, that's why you don't want to have your own business. So then you use hypnosis, and then you start going through this totally unaware that the movies that you've been watching are programming you to not own your own business. They're programming you to hate rich people. Meanwhile, they keep you stuck in the system.
There are literally songs praising the simple life, but translate to stay poor because I'm happy.
Yep.
And it does, yeah. I completely agree with you, Robin. I explain it two ways. One, we're all giant elephants tied to a small post.
Yep.
We've been there a whole life. And two, I believe the government does to us what we do to dogs. Dogs never need to come out of that puppy stage because they're loved, they're cared for, they're comfortable. They never need to be the hunter. So I think that's what the government does to us. One, I think government, the man we would call them, they give us a school system that gives us facts but no empowerment. I think everybody should be a mini doctor, a mini lawyer, a mini therapist when you graduate government schools. You should have grasp on this. And two, just like you said, we're going to make you hate things that empower you.
Yep.
or hate things that give you freedom. And at the same token, I understand no government is going to teach you how to overthrow them.
No, they won't.
no, but I do wish hypnosis was taught at some level in school, maybe last year of high school for the 18-year-olds. But it's not, because then we wouldn't care about politics. We wouldn't care about this product, this superhero. We wouldn't care about stovetop stuffing.
No.
If we didn't want to. But we've all seen the commercials, the warm atmosphere, the turkey getting served by grandma, the families around laughing, and then the product. I can't stand it now. I'm like, I hate you now because I know what you're doing. It's anyway,
No, you're fine, because at the same time, it's fascinating because a lot of people don't even realize that's how they got hypnotized into buying the stovetop stuffing instead of making it homemade. Like
right.
when
I'm sorry, and I'm not just put it out there. I'm not picking on stovetop. It could be anything. It could be M&Ms. It's just an example.
Well, yeah, that's why I said, like, that's just examples of, like, we're bringing these real life examples of how people have been tricked, manipulated the whole time, brainwashed because it's no longer therapeutic, into believing that they can't do something. When, like, people like us, for the hypnosis, we are empowering people to get their power back, to take back their control. But then yet they turn around on us and say we're the ones that are controlling, we're mind controlling. How many times have I gotten that? Oh, my dark, deep secrets. No, I can't know anything you don't want me to know. You still have full control. The only one that can control you 100% is the government. I'm just saying. And they already tried that. Everybody remember C-19? I always wanted to know how World War II happened. That was my answer. I got to live it in real time.
I got to look into that. Yeah.
Well, I studied World War II a lot, and it's like I always wanted to know how that happened. But, like, it made sense because they use the power of three. 3 phrases, 3 things, 3 in World War II, and then they used it here, during that time. So, I mean, like, it's very fascinating how they did it.
Oh, yes. And I don't know anything about that, honestly. But listening to Dr. Jordan Peterson go on about totalitarian governments and how they get power and how they twist everything, and it's probably very similar because he spent 30 years studying all that too. I think I think Jordan Peterson talks mostly about the Soviets.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing just how not easy, but how quickly they can slip into power.
Oh yeah. Look at Fauci, how fast he got into power. I was like, he's nobody. But here he
Now you
is,
know where he's
photo
from.
shoots on time and all these things, making all the decisions for everybody because he knows best. Because what did he have? The traditional brainwashed lab coat, the stethoscope, and I know everything. The doctor God mentality, the MD, minor deity.
Never heard of that. That's pretty good. Minor
I got
deity.
it from somebody else, and I heard that. And I was like, that's what I'm going for. I think that's
Right.
genius. I'm just saying. But that's a lot of people think. That's what it. Oh, my passion is like, I get so fired up and irritated sometimes. It's like, we have the power within ourselves.
Agreed. And see, that's part of the reason why I don't go to. I'm always thinking. I'm always learning. I'm always doing something new. Like, I don't know. Right now, I'm doing Scott Jansen's conversational hypnosis course. Very cool stuff. But I keep looking at different schools, like maybe SNHU, maybe something like online, like get a bachelor's, maybe a master's. But there's something in the back of my head. It's like, yeah, it could be fun, but you're learning from the same system you're trying to break free from.
Yep.
So it's nothing against psychologists, nothing against psychiatrists, doctors, but my personal belief is that unless you step outside of that and kind of see why we have it that way, you're just going to repeat the same thing the system has been doing. You know, you can't fix the problem with the same mindset.
No, you can't. It's I'd heard that phrase from somebody else that the same mind that gets you into the problem is the exact same mind that can get you out of the problem, but you have to learn how to do it differently. That's why I'm like, I am solution focused. I am not problem based.
Right.
If everybody is where energy goes, attention flows. Well, that's the same way with your mind. If you never decide to work on it using hypnosis, because we know for a fact hypnosis is the only thing that works outside of NLP, I'm like, they're really together. I mean, if you really think about it, both of them are. I don't know how anybody could do hypnosis without NLP.
Well, it's the same thing. It's just I think NLP is more structured hypnosis. Say this at this time. You know, that's what I think. And when I hire for I Need Hypno, I don't just hire hypnotherapists. I hire anything hypnosis adjacent. So if you are an NLP practitioner, come on board. If you are a Yoga Nidra practitioner, come on board, because Yoga Nidra is hypnosis, just from the Vedic system, I think. Vedic, Hindu, I don't know. I can't remember right now.
So then that's why certain people got problems with it, because they're talking about New Age, and I was like, I don't know. But no, that would make sense because a lot of people are scared of hypnosis. And I'm like, seriously? Hypnosis, trance, guided meditation.
That's meditation. The movies. Yeah, that's the movies.
Oh, even the old Batmans, long before my time. Like the 1960, 1970, they had the one, I can't remember what episode it was. I've watched it, but they've got like this. There's a couple different, more than a couple actually. They've got like a mind control device, but it's hypnosis is what it is. They got like a tool, and then they got like the spiral spinning thing. I've watched old Batmans, but they even have hypnosis as bad, and it's like it's no different than the doctors. There's good doctors and there's bad doctors. There's some that should never practice medicine, and you get that with the hypnosis. You get that with the cops. You get that with any system out there. There's always good and bad.
Anything can be used for darker light. Even a marshmallow. You can eat it or stuff it down your throat. Either way, it's being used for good or bad. You know, once I realized that I could be killed with a marshmallow, I got more humble. No. But no, hypnosis is, and I got to put it out. Like, there's movies like Hypnotic. That was a great freaking movie, but it was brainwashing, not hypnosis. You and I both know hypnosis is rejuvenating, refreshing, non-invasive. Brainwashing is propping your eyes open for 2 weeks, sleep deprivation, not torture, but harshness. And if I had to look at the closest modern day thing to brainwashing, probably like a military boot camp. Never been myself, but probably a military boot camp. Like the marching is like drum beats, rhythmic stuff. The cadences are suggestions. They tire you out. They work you hard. And then the last thing you do is say your Marine prayer or whatever, and then go to bed. And then they wake you up early. So it's gentle brainwashing, in my opinion, but it's for a good cause. Like something you sign up for. Well, you expect to go on there and come out better, you know.
Well, that would also explain then too why little boys You know, they're 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They're little boys, and then they come out, and then they're all of a sudden they're men.
Mm-hmm.
That would totally explain it. And it's because now that I'm
I mean,
thinking about it, and it's not to be mean, but it's like when you go military, you know who's been militarized and who has not. It's very easy.
There's a reason why military members and ex-law enforcement get hired easier.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Ex-law enforcement and ex-military get hired more often, at least in my opinion, because they're used to structure, they're used to taking orders, they're used to being a squared away uniform. Like if you look at maybe a Costco worker and they have everything squared away, you might think there's military or something background in that because he's so squared away.
True. Shoulders are always back.
That's a bad thing.
Oh, really?
That's a bad thing. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
But that's a bad thing because I'm also a Tai Chi practitioner, and Tai Chi is all about finding the areas of the body that has tension and release them. And eventually, you get to a point where you're using this much energy and tension to hold your whole body up, and to move and to fight eventually. So it's a good way to be able to exist with the minimal wear and tear on the body.
Oh. Well, I did not know that because I'm like, you always see people that are confident or like people in the military, their shoulders are always back. They're very much structured in their body movements even.
Right, but they're rigid.
Yes.
And the body reflects the mind, which is fine. But I'm male. I'm 35 years old. I used to weight lift, sheriff's office. I was that dude. Now my back hurts if I try to walk up straight like I got, authority or whatnot because of all the tension in the back. Because you walk around tension all day long and you wonder why your back hurts. Like you suck your belly in and you wonder why your lower back hurts. Well, every time you move, it's pulling on your lower back.
True.
And it's just the Western, at least the Western male way of doing it. And with Tai Chi, it gets you more hip center. And it's easier for women to have like their power focused in their hips. That's where you guys move mostly. We move from the shoulder. But when you do that, my Tai Chi teacher is a great guy. He has his own thing, and he is 60-something years old. I'm 35. Ex-powerlifter, all that stuff, right? Big me. And I call him Red Bull because he gives me wings. He throws me like I am nothing, Robin. I've bounced and been flung off everything, and he just relaxes even more. The more he relaxes, the harder he can hit.
Wow.
And he does this thing where he'll I'm kind of the Uki in the class I go to with him. He'll demonstrate stuff on me, and I will be pushing against him with all my might, and he's standing on one foot, just holding me up. It's madness, and he's relaxed. Every muscle in his body is relaxed. It's madness. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing Tai Chi is because hopefully when I'm his age, I won't be hurting. I won't have a bad spine. I'll be healthy,
Well, yeah, that's the goal, especially when we get older, be able to still be alive and have our minds yet. At least that's fine. I still want that. So before we close our show today, what's the best way for our audience to get in contact with you?
Thank you. WaltonHypnotherapy.com, the website, IneedHypno.com. I have a Facebook page. I have a LinkedIn page, all Walton Hypnotherapy. I also have an Instagram page, Walton Hypnotherapy, and one for I Need Hypno. So many ways to contact me, y'all.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Be sure to like and subscribe to Healing for the Soul podcast and share it with everyone you know. And I want to encourage you to follow me, Robin Stoltman, on social media, and my guest, Robert Walden, as well. And thank you for your time and your energy while listening to today's episode of Healing for the Soul podcast.
Quack, quack. Bye-bye. Wow, real next time. Yeah, we got it.